What's going on, people? Welcome to the player ratings. Brentford 1, Palace 1. Surprise, another draw, 1-1 draw, just like as it was last time around against them. As always, we want your player ratings in the comment section down below. And if you do enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and let us know your thoughts on the game down below. I'm joined by Patrick. Patrick, look, 1-1 draw against Brentford away from home. Very bad first half, but in the second half, we picked it up. But as always, let's start off with the goalkeeper, Sam Johnston. He might be having a new friend on his way to Palace, but he started this game. And we both agreed to give him a 6 rating. I'll be honest, Patrick, there wasn't much to talk about for Johnston. They only had one shot on target, Brentford, which I think you have to give credit to our defence. Unfortunately, that shot on target managed to go in, and you can question the defending. But with Johnston, he couldn't really save that. I didn't expect much from him there. And all the other elements of his game, I thought they were fine. He wasn't really called upon in this game.
No, I mean, he had to make one save, didn't make it, but no, he was fine. I mean, see the goal,
Yeah.
that was it, yeah.
And talking about the goal conceded, there's a lot of people talking about him, and that's a Joe Ward. 4.5 from you, 3 from me. I've said it for years. We do have right backs, but they're not right backs that are good enough for the Premier League. How many teams does Joe Ward get into on the final Klein? And today, look, that defending was pathetic. I thought he showed him the outside, then afterwards he showed him the inside. Like every time he should be doing the opposite. It just didn't work out for Woody. It was an annoying goal to concede, very good finish, but he didn't have support. But that's my whole problem. If he doesn't have support, one-on-one, you could have these moments with Woody. But overall, Patrick, how comes you give him a 4.5? I just thought he had, even in the second half, chances where he was on the ball and he just gave away sloppy passes back, which could have, easily led to a big chance to make us concede a goal.
I mean, 4.5 is bad. He was awful today. I guess I gave him a 1.5 higher because he had an 81% pass rating and 1 out of 9 ground duels. But he was terrible defending, and I got to give credit to Brentford. They figured out what our weakness was, which was him, and targeted him the entire game. And we almost gave a penalty up in the second half too. He was terrible today. I don't know, but again, I get why. I guess why he's starting, because he's the captain. But let's give Klein a chance, because I know he's played 2 games. This is what's going to happen, though. I don't have a problem. What's going to have 2 good games, a bad game. 2 good games, a bad game. It's going to be like this all season. So it's like that's
but it's been like that. But to be fair, so he's been playing better though, Patrick. He's been playing better as of recently.
I just said first game he played fine, but my point is today he was really, really bad. Because that defending, since when I first started playing, I played left back, and I was always told, you showed up the player, give him the outside, never give him the inside. And I don't think he realized that Charlotte's a right foot player. He played him onto his stronger foot. How do you give? I mean, everybody's inverted wingers. I don't know what he was doing, but but that's fine though, because again, I get why he plays. It's just, I'll be honest with you, and we're not going to address it. It's just frustrating because again, he's had good games this season, clearly, right? But just like today was so bad. It was just so bad. So.
Yeah, let's talk about a good performance. Arguably, our man of the match. I think we both can agree on that. Yorke Madison, 8.5 from both of us. I'll be honest, he's our second most creative player on the pitch, which probably says a lot about our team. Fantastic goal. Not even just a goal. It was a slide tackle, but it's just a run into the box. We didn't really see much of that. And he's doing the runs which our midfielders, maybe strikers should be doing. But defensively, very solid as well, Yorke Madison. In terms of defensive stats, I'll bring them up as well. Of 7 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 interception, 3 tackles, didn't get dribble pass absolutely once. Didn't even get a dribble pass once. And 75 touches. Look, Patrick was massively involved. And for me, he was man of the match.
Yeah, he played really well today. The goal just capped it off. I mean, the pass accuracy wasn't as good as it was. 76%, but overall the 1-2 with IU to score the goal when we needed it was massive. It's nice to that he got the goal. The emotion after when he celebrated was really nice too. But no, he played a brilliant game today. Kept we so quiet along Gehi. So no, I had a very good match by Anderson. Definitely man of the match for me.
Yeah, Gehi, his partner, you gave him a 7.5. I gave him a 7. I just thought Yorke Madison was involved more. But in terms of what he done in terms of stats, 6 clearances, 1 blocked shot, and also a tackle as well. But yeah, he had a relatively solid game. Gehi, nothing wrong that I noticed in the game.
No, it was fine.
Yeah, and then Tariq Mitchell, which was a big task today. I'm surprised he gave him a 6. I gave him a 7. Look, in terms of stats, the stats may not be excellent, but he was facing Mbeumo, who scored 2 goals against Fulham. Oh, well, yeah, 2 goals against Fulham. Oh, he's had 2 goals so far this season. I can't remember which one it is, but he's been on form. He's been on form without Tony. Even last season, he was on form. And today, I thought Mitchell kept him as quiet as possible. So, Patrick, how comes you gave him a 6? I thought his attacking game wasn't that good in terms of balls into the box, but defensively, he kept their best player quiet all game long.
And he did a very good job defensively. His passing was terrible, 67% passing. His crossing was awful. And the issue is, again, but defensively was very good. The issue with Tariq is that he's got to become a better crosser, because clearly with Schlupp on that side, we're getting nothing from anybody, right? So if we're going to use Tariq as an attacking option, he's going to have to learn to cross the ball better. It's not a knock on him, but that's the one thing. And I think I heard Tim say that in the post I say about Tariq. He gets forward well, doesn't cross the ball well. He's got to get better across the ball. He was very good defensively, again, because Mbeumo's a very good attacker and he kept him quiet. But when he had the chance to cross the ball, he's got to do better. So that's the only thing I had, and that's why I marked him down. Defensively, though, he was very, very good today.
Yeah, 100%. And that's 2 good defensive performances. So hopefully he just builds on that and focuses more on attack. Because against Saka, he was solid, and Mbeumo, another difficult position, he kept him quiet as much as he can. Now, moving on to the midfield, Jefferson Lerma, we both agree on our rating, 7.5. You know, he had that header. I think it was in the second half where
great save by the keeper.
Yeah, great save. IU followed it up by just hitting the goalie, but nearly went in. But in terms of stats, 81% passing accuracy, 1 key pass as well, 5 out of 7 ground duels won, 1 out of 1 aerial duels won, 4 clearances, 1 block shot, 3 interceptions, 3 tackles. Basically, a Jefferson Lerma type of game, just all around solid. Patrick, for you, how did you see it?
No, I thought it was very good again. What I like about Lerma is his defensive play is underrated. Decore is obviously very good defensively, but talking to my son about the game, and I remember when we had Chiku Kiyate in midfield, he won a lot of headers, and I think especially on corner kicks, Lerma's positioning on corners and heading ability is very, very good. And even going forward, I thought Eze will get to later. His corners were terrible today, but the one that he did put in there that was perfect, Lerma was scored on. So Lerma had a very solid game today. Very impressed.
And his partner, Decore, he gave a higher rating than Lerma. I gave 7.5. So I gave same rating. How comes you gave him higher? Because I thought Decore, I could see why. Even just by the eye test, dribbling past players here and there, he was solid in midfield. But you said stats. Give me the stats.
So 96% passing. He misplaced 2 passes, 64 touches most in the game, 2 blocks, 10 recoveries. And an eye test, if you watch the game, and I know you did obviously, is that he drove the ball forward. I love the fact when we get to Roy later on, when Roy went to the 3 across the middle and had Decore, Lerma, and Schlupp, much more solid and much better for us having Eze out wide. And I thought he played well in that position. He was the one that was trying to get the ball, drive the ball forward, get the ball to Anderson, out wide to Ward, out wide to Mitchell. But I thought Decore played really well, and no yellow card. So there you go.
Exactly. Another game with no yellow card. He's been doing well. He's been doing well ever since Roy's coming to the club. Exactly.
3,
yeah. And now moving on to Ebbs. His position's changed in the second half, but we'll talk about that. 7.5 from me once again. 7 from you. I'll be honest, he was more involved in the first half, or more dangerous in the first half than he was in the second half, where we improved as a team. Yeah. Do you think that was a case of sacrificing Ebbs and pushing him a bit out wide, where they were clearly focusing on trying to stop Eze, just like Arsenal were? Helped the team in a way, but it didn't help him as much. What do you think it was? Because I thought in the first half, Eze's performance was much better, but then as a team, we weren't as good. In the second half, as a team, we were better, but Ebbs was slower. So how did you see it?
No, and that's exactly why I gave him what I gave him, because he was actually more effective first half, had a lot more shots, repeated a lot more dribbles first half, passing was better. Out wide, but again, I liked and understood the tactical switch by Roy, because it made us better as a team, but he really hurt Ebbs. Ebbs does not play well out wide. Funny enough, again, to help the team today. Don't know if it would help us going forward, but he plays better. He plays better in the middle. He has more freedom. I noticed that Brentford wasn't really looking to double him as much as Arsenal did. Saw him as a threat, obviously, but didn't double him as much. I thought it was better. He had a couple of shots that were blocked, unfortunately, in the first half. The only thing I want to see improvement from Ebbs is set piece delivery. It's not good enough. I mean, remember we used to always get on Luca for not beating the first man. It's like Ebbs hits his balls too deep. I mean, he's hitting a lot of bad corners, and I'm really glad that he gave up that free kick that Edouard took and had a good free kick
Oh
in the
yeah,
well, you know what I mean, gave up.
second half.
Which credit to him for giving up and giving Edouard the chance. But again, it was a solid performance by Ez. But again, we're gonna go back to the not missing Elise. If Elise is not there, like Zaha did, Ed's got to step up his game. And you know what? That's just how it's going to have to be. I hate to say it's a lot of pressure on him, but Wilf did it. So hopefully Eze can do it too.
Especially until players come back from injury,
Yeah,
especially Elise.
he had to step up.
Yeah. But look, this player, I don't really want to talk about him, but we have to. Of course, you guys can already guess who it's going to be. Jeffrey Schlupp, 4 from me, 5 from you. Look, for me, I expect something from a player. I thought his game did improve in the second half, but I mean, I said it as well in the live match reaction. In the first half, when Schlupp when Schlupp didn't have the ball, we saw it. We saw it with Ebbs, we saw it with Ayew and Edouard. The pressing was ideal. I'm watching him play. Maybe I'm watching him too much, but he wasn't even pressing as much. And if he was, it was half-hearted. Now, you're not doing that off the ball. Now, I look at your game on the ball. He had second least amount of touches in comparison. Right. I think Edouard was the least with 12 touches in the first half. I think Schlupp had 17 in the second half. So if you're not doing your defensive duties well, if you're not even attacking the game, with Edouard, you can have that excuse. I was a striker. He had the least amount of touches because we didn't have service. Schlupp should be the player that's giving the service to Edouard. Now, you have to offer something. You have to. And I just don't know what he offers. Maybe he has a role coming off the bench, but he just can't be a starter. He just can't be, because I honestly, it's not consistent enough and good enough for the Premier League, especially if you want to win games. And Roy subbed him off in the second half, which I think was the right decision. But even starting him in this game, I had fears about it. And he proved it, unfortunately. He didn't really do much. I don't get what his role is in this Palace side.
You know, the weird thing is, right, people may or may not know, at Leicester, he was actually a forward and a striker. Then he moved to left wing. And then when we bought him, it was Allardyce, he bought him as a left back, but he's actually never been a left back technically. I think he played a little bit during the championship season, the winning year that Leicester won the Premier League. So he's actually more of an attacking player. But let me tell you something, he is not an attacking winger in the modern day 2023 style because he can't get forward. He was much better in the second half, but I'm going to say it, he just can't start anymore. If you're going to bring him on like he did today, second half, where he's in the middle of the field, where he can drive the ball forward. He was doing that great. I think he drew a couple of fouls. You can't play wide. Either start Ahmed or start Raksaki, switch Ayew to the other side, let Raksaki play on the right, which is not going to happen. Then start Ahmed in the middle and put Eze out wide, which I don't love. But Schlupp cannot start anymore. He's going to start the next match against Wolves. I know he will. But it's getting frustrating. And I've always, I've never been a guy to really kill Schlupp. I've always tried to give him credit. But even I'm getting to the point where I understand what his deficiencies are, and that is playing out wide, doesn't create anything like you're saying, D. He stands out there and doesn't press. Even when Ahmed came on,
Ahmed
was pressing like crazy. Like, he didn't get touched, but he was pressing. I mean, but again, I don't think Schlupp, I think, whoever did it, I think somebody converted him to, it was Roy, to a central midfielder, and he feels like he's a central midfielder now. But, man, out wide, he's lost, and he makes Mitchell look bad. He makes us ineffective. It's just, he has to play midfield. And as a sub, because I can't take it much more. Sorry.
Yeah, it comes on as a sub when you're chasing a game and the space isn't behind where you can run into. He's not a Premier League starter. He just simply isn't. And look, he did get subbed off, but I just expect more from a player.
Credit to the manager for doing it, because I thought he was going to stay the whole game. Credit to Roy for
making exactly. Yeah, he made it. And we'll talk about Roy's rating as well.
Right.
But yeah, look, it is what it is, I guess. But 4, and we're talking about 5s. And we knew it coming into this game. It just makes it more frustrating. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Now let's talk about the striker, and that is Hodgson Edouard. We both agreed on a 6 rating for Edouard. His first touch wasn't as good as we've seen maybe against Sheffield United or Arsenal, I thought. But in the first half, he did have 1 or 2 moments where he was running at defenders and trying to beat them. Maybe he should have took the shot a bit earlier, especially in the first half. But apart from that, when Mateta did come on, I wasn't really that upset because he wasn't involved as much, Eddie.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, again, I have no problem with Eddie's play again. I just keep giving those stars, Hopefully the goals will come. He already has, he has the one already. I love the free kick he took. He got it on net. It was a great save by the keeper. But again, just keep rolling them out there. Eventually, listen, we got another week to go for the window. If you get somebody else in it and that player's better than him, he won't play. I like Mateta, but obviously Edouard's better than him. I had no problem with the sub. Honestly, I would actually kept Edouard on and maybe brought on Saki for somebody else. But that's fine. The fact you brought on Mateta for Edouard was fine. When Mateta and Ahmed came on, we scored, so I can't get mad at the sub, so it's fine. But Edouard, wasn't great, but I mean, it's fine. It's fine today.
He only had 20 touches in 71 minutes, and I said 12 touches in the first half. So in the second half, he was even even quieter in the second half. So look, it's hard because you can make the debate is he getting service or not. But when he was on the ball, he just didn't look as crisp as he has done in the first two games. Even against Arsenal, I thought he was a bit better.
Talk about service. There was a great cross that Ayew put in to the back post. No one was there. I expect my striker to be there. I was early-ish first half. So again, I remember we had that discussion where at halftime during Sheffield United, Ayew said to Edouard, "Be so and so, and I'll cost you the ball." And he scored. So maybe that should have happened early in the game. But it is what it is. We move.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the subs. Ahmed came on as well as Mateta. Ahmed 5.5 from you, Patrick, and 5 from me. I think we can both agree that he was decent in terms of his pressing, but he wasn't that involved on the ball. I mean, how many touches did he have? I'll bring it up. I think he only had like 9 touches. But I'll just check it right now. Ahmed only had 8 touches in 20 minutes. But yeah, there's not really much to talk about his game. And then Mateta, 5 from both of us.
You missed someone.
What?
You missed Jordan Ayew. We haven't done Jordan Ayew.
Oh yeah, Jordan Ayew. How can I miss Jordan Ayew? He had like one of the better games. But quickly, as I try to bring up Jordan Ayew, what do you make about the sub appearances?
Again, I don't think either one of them was outstanding, but we did score when they were on. They brought a little energy. I thought Ahmed, again, pressed really well. Didn't get as many touches, but passing was decent. Again, just listen. He's a young kid. Keep letting him play. Mateta again gave us a little energy. Wasn't great. I mean, but again, credit to both of them. Credit to Roy for bringing them on. We had to do something different. It may shook some things up a little bit, so helped us get that equalizer, which was important.
Yeah, and now of course I can't forget about Jordan Ayew. I can't. Well, I did in a way. Patrick reminded me. He was here. Disappeared. But yeah, I guess that's how Brentford defenders felt like trying to defend him. Literally, because yeah, you gave him an 8. I gave him an 8 as well. I thought defensively he was active, going forward. He was involved as well, beating his player. Very happy with his performance, and once again he's stepping up when we don't have that many creative players, and he's doing the best he can. But still, you can have the argument: is it still good enough? I don't think he should be dropped by any means, but there are limits to his game. But overall, I thought I was very pleased with his game. He's a leader out on the pitch.
Nah, listen, no one complained about Ayew today. I mean, I'm not going to mention so and so in our group chat mentioned about Ayew's having a typical Ayew game. Well, if that's 9% passing, 5 shots, fouled 4 times, and an assist, I'll take it. Because remember, right now he has 2 assists. We all talk about Olise. We are missing Olise. I'm not comparing him to Olise. Ayew has 2 assists in 3 matches, playing on that right side. You cannot get on this guy for what he's doing this season. I'm sorry. The problem is on the other side. Ayew's doing his job, and if Ayew goes to the left side, he'll probably do a job on that side. Ayew's been fine this season. Our issue is on the other side. So I thought Jordan Ayew was right behind Anderson for man of the match. Again, had the assist for Anderson, the 1-2. I thought Ayew had a very solid game going forward, and of course defensively. So very solid by him.
Yeah, I can't lie. Yeah, he had a very very solid game. But I just had to give Anderson the man of the match for the goal and overall defensive performance.
The goal was massive.
But any other day it could have easily been Jordan Ayew, which is a credit to him. Now, finally moving on to the manager, Roy Hodgson. We both agree at 7.5. Look, the reason why I do is because I thought the tactical adjustments made in the second half improved us as a team. We got us into the game. We managed to score a goal in the second half. The first half was poor. And I think one of the reasons why it was poor was down to the selection in the first place, Jefferson Schlupp. And that's why I gave him maybe a bit lower than an 8 or 9. But overall, coming out of that game, I was very happy because he made a change at halftime. Not sub, but tactical adjustment. That adjustment did work. And, maybe if we had a bit more quality out on the pitch without those injured players or a few signings, maybe we could have created a bit more chances in front of goal. But look, Brentford only had 1 shot on target. They only had 1 shot on target. We had more shots on target. Less possession, yes. but still, we had our moments in the second half. So I have to give credit to Hodgson for that, Patrick.
100%. I've mentioned it 3 or 4 times already in the stream that, yeah, I totally agree. There's tactical changes and the switch of Eze out wide for Schlupp. If not, you look at Schlupp more involved in the game was good. The subs were good, made a little bit earlier. Getting Ahmed on the pitch, I love to see that. Again, but with you, I'm the same way. Listen, you said it was Schlupp. I would like to see on the right back start. I get we don't have one, so there's that. But honestly, it's the Schlupp issue, and I know he likes Schlupp. I know he trusts Schlupp. I get all that, but at some point we have to come to realization. If we're not going to have Olise in front until probably October, please. And listen. If you're watching the stream, I'm begging you, please start Ahmed or start Raksaki. Just try something different. I'm telling you, it's going to work. I'm telling you, you're going to be
It can't get any worse. Let's just say that. It genuinely can't.
Exactly.
It genuinely can't. So, and the fact that he subbed off Schlupp, because as you said as well, I was a bit worried. Great. I was like, how long is he going to wait to sub off Schlupp? But even he can see it. You know, he likes Schlupp. He rates him clearly because he's been starting him. But it's still not good enough. It's still not good enough. And at what point do you make sacrifices and say, you know what, as much as I rate you, you're not good enough. Let me give someone else an opportunity. If it's not now, then when will it be? But look, those questions will be answered potentially against Plymouth or against Wolves next week. But that's it from the player ratings. Thanks to every single one of you who has watched this. As always, if you have enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button. Let's get over 100 likes, people, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. That's it from me and Patrick. We'll be back for the Plymouth game, of course. But until then, up the pad.